As crystal bridges in the momentary, we recognize our role as settlers and guests in the Northwest Arkansas region. We acknowledge the Caddo, Quapaw, and Osage, as well as the many indigenous caretakers of this land and water. We appreciate the enduring influence of the vibrant, diverse, and contemporary cultures of indigenous peoples. We are conscious of the role in colonization that museums have played. As cultural institutions, we have a responsibility to engage in the dismantling of historical and systemic invisibility of indigenous peoples past, present, and future. We choose to intentionally hold ourselves accountable to appropriate conversation, representation, connection, and education to facilitate a space of measurable change.
Hello, welcome to the Momentary Sunday Reset. We're so excited to be back here with you, but even more excited that today we're recording and it is the Momentary's very first birthday. So happy birthday, Momentary. You can clap, applause, yay. And what a year to have opened and celebrated, and we're excited to be here. I'm Bex Nimrod, a lifestyle coach, holistic, and I work with yoga, and I'm excited to be here for the first of 4 installments of working with my friend and cohort, Sunny Lane.
Hi, I'm Sunny Lane, and I am a Chopra certified meditation teacher. I'm also a yoga instructor and am just thrilled to be here with you today, like Beck said, in the first of 4 installments in our program, The Seeds of Change. And so today we're going to go through a practice where we take a look at the things that we have inside of us that need some help in being brought out. So we can kind of identify these as seeds that are inside of us that we want to nurture and we want to bring out to take us throughout the rest of this year. So as we do that, we will begin with a little brief talk here to start, and then we'll move into a meditation practice. And then Bex is going to take us through a journaling exercise. And again, so this is the first of 4 parts. Today we're going to really just focus on those seeds of change, those ideas that are inside each one of us that we may not have verbalized yet, we may not have identified yet, but we know that we want to do something in 2021. We just don't know what it is. So we're all starting in this place together. Blank slate. And let's just see what we already have inside of us that we can pull out to bring into 2021. And so to start us off, let's just talk a little bit about understanding what these things are, these seeds of change, and also the experience of change. In yoga, it's said that you really want to get to the place where you intellectually understand something, but you also have the direct experience of it. And it's those two that come together that really allow us to flourish and pull, again, these innate desires that are inside each one of us. We can intellectually understand them, we can put them on paper, we can make a bunch of lists, or we're out here experiencing them by default, right?
Yeah.
Or we're dreaming about the experiences. But let's try to bring them together with a little bit of intention. And so one way that you can begin to look at these two dynamics, experience and intellectual understanding, is through the world of consciousness. Now, consciousness can be a pretty abstract idea, but what we really just want to simplify this idea around is that consciousness is the state of who we really are, this deeper inner space that's inside me, it's inside you, it's inside every single person, no matter how busy you are, how highly productive you are, how much of a go-getter you are, you still have this space of pure consciousness. And Maharishi Mahesh and Deepak Chopra actually call this space the state of pure potentiality. So let's...
This is so great.
Right?
Yeah.
With the potential of everything.
How do we get there?
That's what we're going to do.
Can we go right now?
We are going to go there. We're going to talk a little bit about what it is. Okay, how do we intellectualize this space, first of all? Which this is really, for me, what got me into this teaching is I knew that there was a space that existed, but I really wanted to make sure I was there. I was in the right spot. I needed some deeper understanding around what could be this airy-fairy space.
And when you say you wanted to get into this space, what do you mean? Like, did you go to school? Did you just sit and...
Right.
Like, what was it?
I did a lot of sitting.
What was it?
I worked with a lot of teachers. I took a lot of different meditation styles because that's what the claim was get to this space, get into your Zen. And it sounds interesting. And I even had some real experiences with teachers where I was like, wow, I think that this is what it is. What I know now through years of study and many different teachers is that if you're intellectualizing it, you're not experiencing it. Okay, so when we talk about consciousness, this for me was really helpful in being able to understand the deeper, the intellectual side to move me toward the experience, was the stages of consciousness. And so we have the first three states of consciousness: waking, sleeping, and dreaming. By default, we do this. The first three states of consciousness happen to us. We can intellectually understand waking, sleeping, dreaming. We experience waking, sleeping, dreaming. And these are the first three states of consciousness. However, there are 7 states of consciousness. And so intellectualizing and experiencing those higher states is where a lot of us get tripped up. Definitely what tripped me up for a while. And so the first 3 states happen automatically. We understand them and we experience them. When we meditate, we are moving toward this 4th state of consciousness, this state of pure awareness where there is no thought, where again, this is the space of pure potentiality. So as we go through our journal exercise later, let's remember this journaling exercise that we're going to do requires no work on your part. It is let the pen move and let this space of pure potentiality rise up through you. And so we are going to cultivate, just like we would cultivate our soil, we're going to cultivate that space of pure potentiality through experience. We will experience, or we will practice experiencing it. So the 4th state is pure potential, no thought, pure awareness. And in this space, everything that we have desired through our first 3 stages, waking, sleeping, and dreaming, all of that already exists. So actually, everything that we're getting ready to put on our list, it's already here. We have just put ourselves in the way. We get in our own way. And so meditation helps us get out of our way and directly experience this pure potential, this pure consciousness. And I have found the easiest way to do that is by using a mantra. And so there are different mantra-based techniques that you can use. You can find mantra-based meditations online. You can work with a teacher who offers mantra-based teachings. But a mantra simply means mind vehicle. So the mantra is going to take us from this waking, sleeping, dreaming state to pure consciousness. It's the mind vehicle. And the mantra that we're going to be using today is pronounced Sham. Sham. And I'll repeat that again as we go through the meditation. And this mantra connects us to the deep intelligence that already exists. It already exists inside of us individually, it exists in us collectively, and it exists in, it is just in existence. And when we go into meditation and we sit, we are then experiencing what some scientific thought would call the unified field of existence. And it is in this unified
Pure
field.
potentiality, unified field.
Yes, right? This unified field of existence that, again, in some scientific thought, is quantifiable. And we experience that in meditation, in pure consciousness, in the fourth state of consciousness. So let's just jump right in. So for the meditation, I'm going to give you a little brief outline so you'll know where we're going, and then take us into it. So when we start today, we're going to do a little bit of breathing practice. So we'll do a breathing technique. This technique is called Coherence Breath. Coherence Breath brings into alignment our heart, the rate of our heart, and our brain activity. So we're coherence breathing. So we'll introduce Coherence Breath, and then we will move into a space of self-inquiry where I'll begin to ask some questions and you will repeat these questions. And self-inquiry is a really interesting way to use the mind to go beyond the mind. So we're asking these questions, we're using the mind on an intellectual basis to experience the mind, really. So we getting out of our way. And self-inquiry assists in this process in uncovering some of those blocks and some of those layers that we have kind of covering up whether it's our ego or our mind, our intellect. So we use these self-inquiry questions to get past that barrier. And then we'll introduce the mantra. And I'll repeat the mantra several times for you. And then we'll move into a space of silence. And we'll be silent for a bit of time, probably 5 to 8 minutes or so. And during that silent space, it is okay that you can still continue to think and you have thought. And it's okay to sit there and go, am I there? Am I experiencing pure consciousness?
Because that happens. We have this monkey mind. I have this monkey mind. I don't know about you all, but.
Well, yes, it's very common. I definitely have it myself. And as that monkey mind comes on and begins to make dinner plans or weekend plans, it's okay. Like, that is part of the process of meditation. It's actually a sign of correct meditation is thought, because what we're doing is we're moving in and out of pure consciousness. We're moving into pure consciousness where we are having the experience of it, but we are not able to intellectualize it because we are deep in the experience. We may not know that we're there. We may only know when we come out and we start having the thought and we think, wow, where was I for half a second? You might have been experiencing pure consciousness.
Do you find that space lengthens the more you practice?
Absolutely, and it's cumulative. So your meditation practice builds on itself, just like your time at the gym. Cumulative benefit, and again, not to say that you won't meditate for a year and you continue to go deeper and deeper, and then one day you sit down and you can't get your mind to turn off. So
that happened to me last week.
Yeah, no matter
big time
how long you've been teaching or practicing, we all have it. And what it is our physiology releasing stress. And our mind it has to make sense of the stress leaving our body, and so it puts a thought on it, and the thought shows up, and we may go places with it. But when you remember, we'll go into silence, I'll give you the mantra, you just continue to repeat that silently as you get distracted. When you realize you've been distracted, just bring yourself back to the mantra, and let the mantra does the work for you. It is the mind vehicle, and you just let that gentle repetition, the silent repetition of the mantra, be with you as kind of your anchor. And don't worry too much if you forget the pronunciation or what was the mantra. Just let the faint notion of the mantra be in your awareness. And that's what, it's just a gentle, easy repetition. It's not a strict, I have to remember it and pronounce it correctly. It's just a nice, easy, it may take on a rhythm, it may not. It's okay, whatever shows up. And we'll be silent. So at the end of that silent period, then I'll come back and I will give a sankalpa, which is just some intentions that we can use to settle into our experience. And then I'll end the mantra or the meditation, and I'll bring us out just nice and slow. So again, I'll just be cueing you the whole time, except for that silent space. And then at the end, just let's come out nice and easily. And then after we meditate, then Bex will take us into the journal practice. Okay? Perfect. All right. Well, go ahead and wherever you are, just be comfortable. You can be sitting in your car listening to this. You can be sitting in your bed listening to this. You can be sitting on a beautiful meditation cushion and listening to this. There's no place that is off limits. It's nice to not have distractions, but if distractions come around, just treat those just like a thought. Have the distraction, the distracting person or the distracting noise, and just let yourself come back into the meditation. So find your comfortable spot, and let's just settle in. And if you'd like to close your eyes, you can close your eyes. And if that doesn't feel comfortable for you, just let yourself gaze down. Just a nice, easy gaze downward, where you can still see some light. You might just close them halfway, or even if you just want to keep your gaze down, staring just past the tip of your nose. And take a couple of just your normal breaths. Watch yourself take your natural breath. Watch that inhale. Watch as it becomes an exhale. And then let's go ahead and introduce coherence breathing. So I'll cue us for a few rounds of this. It's nice and simple. We're going to inhale for a count of 4, and then take a brief pause at the top, and exhale for a count of 6, and a pause at the bottom. So again, I'll cue us for a few rounds, and then let you have it for another minute or so on your own. Let's go ahead and inhale together here. 2, 3, 4, pause, exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, pause. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, pause. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, pause. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Continue on for a few more rounds. And now release that breath and just return back to your natural breathing rhythm. And now we'll bring in 4 questions. The first question is, who am I? Repeat that question to yourself and just let the answer naturally rise. Who am I? And second question, what do I want? Silently asking the question, what do I want? Could be in this moment, could be in this life. Whatever naturally rises. And third question, what is my purpose? Nice and easy. Any answer is the right answer. What is my purpose? And fourth question, what can I appreciate in this very moment? Maybe the comfort of the chair you're sitting on, the health of a loved one, big or small, what can I appreciate? And now release those questions. And begin to think silently to yourself, I am, and your first and your last name. Gentle repetition. I am, first and last name. And now release your last name and continue to repeat, I am, and your first name. And now release your first name and continue to repeat the words, I am. And now release the words, I am, and introduce the vibration of those words, which is aham, aham, aham. And now release the vibration, a hum, and we'll introduce the mantra, Sham, Sham, Sham. Nice, gentle, easy repetition. Sham, Sham, Sham. And letting the mantra become just a faint idea. Easy repetition. Sham, Sham, Sham. We'll move into silence now. Continue to repeat the mantra silently. You can release the mantra now. Resting in existence. Resting in awareness. Resting in being. Existence, awareness, being. Sat Chidananda. Introduce a sankalpa, 4 intentions. Joyful, energetic body. Joyful, energetic body. Loving, compassionate heart. Loving, compassionate heart. Reflective, alert mind. Reflective, alert mind. lightness of being. Lightness of being. You can begin to move around a little bit in your seated position or reclined position. Move your hands and your feet. And before we come fully out, just open your eyes just a little bit. Begin to see some light and then close the eyes again. Take a few more breaths, your natural breathing rhythm, bringing your attention to your breath. Let's open the eyes again just a little more, and you can close the eyes one more time. Begin to move around a little bit more, maybe wiggle around, come back into your body, and then you can begin to open the eyes up fully. And if you want, you can bring the arms up overhead. Take your gaze up and get a big stretch. And bring yourself down. I hope that was comfortable for you.
It was.
Great, great. And
It was for me.
Yeah, good.
Thanks.
Yes.
I love this. Now we're going to flow with that and flow with pen and pencil and paper. So if you have your journal with you, go ahead and grab that. If you don't, then you can push pause real quick and go grab that. Can be even the back of a receipt. Something big enough to write on. And it'd be really great if you had a journal that you could use throughout this whole year, like as you're tracking this, as we move from part 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 and watch where you have grown and where these seeds have come through. So we're going to spend about 5 minutes just free writing. And as we free write, and you can start now if you want, we're going to work through some different, I'm going to ask some questions or pose some different words to you. And as things come to your mind, just begin to write about seeds of change. Like, what seeds do you want to plant? And anything goes. You can write anything. And whatever comes to mind. So what comes to mind when you think about your body? Like, are there seeds of change with your actual physical body? Maybe it's a new workout. Maybe you would like to crowd out eating Haribo gummy bears with lettuce or kale. Maybe you would like to start a new type of movement practice. Maybe it's getting more sleep. What are some seeds of change around your physical body? What are some seeds of change around your heart body? When you think of your heart, not necessarily the physical part, but that intuition, that heart space that you feel on the inside, that emotional space, what are some seeds of change that come to mind? From a mental space, how would you like to, are there seeds of change you would like to plant with your mental space? Maybe it's reading a new book or taking up a new hobby, possibly scrolling less, mindless movement like with your fingers and your thumbs, and opening a book that you hold in your hands. Maybe it's taking a class, going back to school. On a spiritual level, what are some seeds of change that you might like to see there? Maybe there's change from, maybe it's deconstructing thoughts that you had and reconstructing new thoughts. Maybe it's starting a meditation practice, continuing with a practice like we've worked with today. Maybe it's a prayer practice. And just free write, no rules. Now that you've spent some time free writing, put your pen down, your pencil down, and look at your paper and what words, phrases begin to jump out, speak pure potential to you. What are some of the things that pop out at you? And as you're looking, you can pick up your pencil again and pen and maybe circle those or put a little asterisk by it or something along those lines, but just mark those words. See if you can narrow it down to 3. Maybe only one of them really sticks out to you, and that's fine, or 4. And then as you narrow these down, write them kind of over to the side, like write those words over to the side. And then Sunny's going to bring us into the next part of this journaling practice.
Yeah, so this is great, Bex. Thank you for getting us to put some of these things down, and I appreciate your prompts. Those were helpful. And so as you take a look, as Bex said, you've got 3 or 4 words written and circled that just kind of pop out at you. And so what we want to do now is we intellectually are looking at these words, but we want to experience them. We want to experience these words. And our number one tool for experience are our emotions. Our emotions are how we experience life. And so as you look at those that you've circled, see if you can identify emotions that would come with that new practice or that seed. For me, I want to increase my weekly steps. So I'm going to, I walked 7,000 a day last week, so this week I want to walk 8,000 a day. So what is the emotion that comes along with that? It gives me a feeling of accomplishment, of strength. And so what we're going to do is we'll put up a slide, because actually I have a really hard time. Like, I even want to pull out my tool right now to look at what emotions would come up with these, because I really do have a hard time identifying. Like, I kind of think I'm just happy all the time. Like, I feel, pretty okay all the time. But I know that underneath that there are different levels of that. And certainly, I know that I don't feel happy all the time. I have sadder emotions, but it can be challenging for me.
Put a name on it.
To put a name on it, yeah. Like, sadness even is like, wow, gosh,
But is it despair?
Yeah.
Is it sadness?
Is it discontent? And so we'll share this tool that I use. I actually keep it on one of my screensavers that helps me identify in this moment. And anytime I know that I'm having emotions that are kind of on the lower end of the spectrum, I don't discount them. I don't try to talk myself out of them. I let myself feel them.
Get into our feels.
Yeah,
it's important.
Feel it. It is. It's huge, because they're not going to budge until you do. But then you can look at those and go, okay, well, maybe I am feeling discouraged right now because I walked 4,000 steps or 1,000 steps. And so, well, can I move myself up from discouragement to, just a bit of ease, a bit of compassion? Can I move myself away from this? And this is such a powerful practice that if you can really get into the routine of identifying, using that emotional scale, these issues that we have in life, these getting in our own way, things that we do to ourselves, we can move those up the emotional scale. We can move it so that the next time we come back and we experience it, it may not be all the way at despair. It may not be at discouragement. It might be at complacency, or I don't know if that's emotion, but
Sure.
but yeah. But you'll find that you can actually move these things by using that emotional scale. You know, if it's getting a meditation practice or a prayer practice, bring in that emotion. What is that going to feel like when you have that happening in your life? You know, it's going to create calm or clarity of mind. You know, let yourself identify some emotions. So as you have those words circled, you can write them, out next and put next to each one of those some words that describe how it can emotionally be affecting you.
Now that you have your emotions attached to these seeds, we're going to spend just a little bit of time and look at them from a 30, 60, 90 standpoint. So of these three, if you only have one or you have four, then you make some adjustments. But 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, which seed is going to take the longest to germinate? Like, is it going to take me 90 days or is it going to take me 30 days? So put those, and you can just write like a 30, 60, or 90 next to each of those, and be careful with yourself. Don't say in 30 days I'm going to go run a marathon. Now, some people might be able to do that, but the majority of us, it's going to be challenging for us to go run a marathon in 30 days without any training. And so be mindful of that. So maybe you kind of adjust which one is 30, 60, or 90. And with that, how does that feel? Does it sit on the inside? Does it sit well, the emotions that you have tied to this 30, 60, 90? So take a little bit of time and write the 30, 60, 90 down to what's going to germinate, or how long it's going to take to germinate. And then we're going to plant these seeds. So a few different options for planting these seeds. You could take your hands and place them on your journal. You could write them in the corner, like write them on the corner and then like rip it off and then hold it between your hands if you wanted to do that. You could take that, put it by your heart and hold it here over your heart if that's what you would like to do, or you can sit here and just look at it, like whatever you feel led to do. Please assume that posture, and then when you come to that place, I'm gonna place my hands on my book, and then close your eyes. Feel it. Sit with them. Take a breath in through your nose. Exhale out your mouth. 2 more times. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Inhale. And exhale. Just return now to an easy breath and begin to visualize fertile soil. Rich, deep in color, full of all of the nutrients, the support that you need. And then begin to envision each seed that you want to plant. What color is it? How does it feel in your hands? How does it smell? Is it large? Is it small? And one by one, watch yourself plant these seeds in this fertile soil. The first one, the second one, the third one. Now cover them up with the soil. And the emotions that you feel attached to them, allow that to pour over these planted seeds. And know with those emotions, unique only to you, they will begin to germinate, begin to grow. Let's take 3 more breaths together, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Gently blink open your eyes. They're planted. And we would love for, if you feel comfortable, part of holding yourself accountable to planted seeds is having somebody that you share that with. And if you feel comfortable, we would love for you to, in the comments, maybe put one of the seeds that you planted. And if I plant a seed of a new walking practice and Sunny planted a seed of a new walking practice, and we both share that, look at that. Like, there can be a little connection. And you can maybe
Find a friend.
Find a friend, support one another.
Yes.
And yeah, we would love for that.
Yeah, and if you feel, again, a little more vulnerable, is add the emotion.
Oh,
add the emotion of how that is going to impact you, how that's going to make you feel. And again, just being there to support each other as you share any comments.
And yeah, so I'm super excited because this whole thing is going to take us through the whole year, and we get to come back and see how the seeds are growing.
See how they're growing.
Yeah.
And knowing that the seeds that you planted today came from that space. It came from the space where it already exists. These things that you want in your life already exist, and now they have been, you have gathered them and put them in with some intention and some love and some nourishment and hopefully some community to help these things grow into your reality, into your daily reality and your daily experiences. And we thank the Momentary for
thank you so much.
sponsoring this and taking us through the year, and for having Bex and I back again.
We'll see you guys in, I don't know, a few months.
Yeah.
Next quarter. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.